I had written some words that were about party and politics and the practice of it. And as I was walking around the lobby here, I started thinking about something that was really, I thought, both indicative of President Lincoln and indicative of this sacred ground that you have invited us here tonight. Cooper said that, in his words, quote, "A union was a collectivity of people with a shared purpose and the will to achieve it." And I think that, at least for this small band, and a band that grows every day across this country and with the help of folks like you, I don't think that we could have a better definition of a union. And I think that it's also, appropriate that President Lincoln was talking about a union that was on the verge of a massive rupture, and one that he would ultimately help to reunite and help to bind up those wounds, although we know he didn't have the opportunity. But we know also that this is a hall and a school of builders. President Lincoln was a builder. Frederick Douglass was a builder. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was a builder. They might not have built buildings, but they built belief, and they built movements, and in their own ways, they built the politics that so many of us knew about and expected for so long. And it is in that tradition and in their hallowed footsteps that I think that we stand here and sit before you tonight. And so what I ask is that you just permit me a couple of minutes to talk about that building. We like to think of America as a home. For many of us who were born here, it is a home we've taken for granted. For those that have come here, like my ancestors, and I'm sure many of your ancestors, it was the home that they could only dream of. And when they got here, they made the best they could of. But we must build a new political home in this country. The home we have is pretty ratty. It's got two sides that don't talk to each other. One side is actually blatantly on fire at the moment. And so we must decide what that new home looks like. We know that we will not all agree on what this house should be. We don't agree on the design. We won't agree on how many rooms or what the windows look like. But here's what we know: that it must be big enough for anyone who wants to come to join us. It must be built. It must be built with a wide, open front door. It must be built with windows that allow both the sunshine to come in and for those people in it to look out and see a better day. And I would say this, that when we think about these things, the people that we hope to help us build this house will not be working in a vacuum. There will be plenty of folks who live in those houses that exist now who will defame us, who will try and stop us. They will tell us the house is not the right size, it's not the right color, it's not the one they want, and they will do everything they can to stop this. But here's what we know, that in this country, it is not the homogeneous coalition that ultimately succeeds. It is the heterogeneous coalition that ultimately succeeds. It is the groups of people like us today who might not otherwise agree on everything. No one agrees on everything. The idea of purity, regardless of party, is irresponsible and it is unrealistic. And so what I would ask as we sit here before you tonight is that just to think that we will try and build this house not for today, not for tomorrow, not for next month, but for next year and beyond. And we hope that you will join us in this construction project, and we thank you for being here tonight. Steve.